Hi guys, it's me again. I have a lot of info for you today. And I have my notes on my phone. So I'm gonna give you this video, and I'm gonna be looking at my phone, looking back at you, etc. So back to the book thief, and I hope you enjoy my virtual background. I'm not actually at the beach, even though it's been such nice weather. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the chapter called Book of Fire. And really what you would need to know is that during this chapter, while Hans is distracted, Liesel steals a book, which is like a partially burned book from the remains of the bonfire that's there. Um, so she's almost caught when she does this. She hides the book under her clothes and she leaves, but then she realizes that someone is watching her from the shadows and has seen the whole thing. So what you need to know is that that person that was watching her was the mayor's wife. So that's not a good thing because the mayor is a Nazi. So she's going to assume that, you know, horrible things are going to come of this. We finally we've been kind of leading up to this book thief. So we're going to find out more about this book. Essentially, when they're heading back home, the book starts to smoke because even though it's not burned, it's really hot from the bonfire. And Hans discovers the book. He does promise not to tell Rosa about the stolen book, and he asks Liesel if she'll be able to keep a secret for him one day. And later, he decides to go to the Nazi Party office and trade cigarettes for a copy of Mein Kampf. He's attempting to get into the Nazi Party again, and the Nazi officials watch him leave, and they're like, there's no way they're going to let him in. But he's got this book, and he's formulating a plan with this book, which we're not really sure about. That was in a chapter that you guys kind of skipped. So what you need to know basically is that Hans got a copy of Mein Kampf, and he's going to do something with it. He's not interested at all in joining the Nazi Party, but he's going to use this book for a good purpose. In the chapter, The Mayor's Library, there's more fear spreading throughout the town as these events are happening. Liesel's getting really worried that the mayor's wife is going to report her for stealing the book. So she's trying everything she can do to avoid the mayor's house. But Rosa does the wash for the mayor, so she has to go deliver the laundry. So she does go continue to deliver the laundry. And then after a few visits, the mayor's wife, Frau Hermann, invites her inside and ends up showing her the library. Liesel's incredibly amazed by the amount of books that she sees, and she's shocked and stunned. She gets kind of embarrassed and leaves without really saying thank you, and wants to go back and say thank you, but ends up not being able to because the mayor himself answers the door. So she sees this library and she's pretty impressed. Now we're on to Enter the Struggler. So we are switching completely over to another side of the story that we haven't seen yet. So Death, our narrator, introduces Max, who is going to become a very important character. He's a Jew and he's hiding. A man appears to him and gives him some food and water and a forged identity card, because at this time you couldn't travel anywhere in Germany or even most of Europe without some type of papers to identify you. Someone gives him an identity card and a book with a key taped inside it. Max eats some food, saves some of it, and he whispers please to Hans Huberman, who is a man he's never met. So that's really interesting. We're going to skip over the attributes of Summer, which is just Death letting us know what's going to happen. In this chapter, she's reading The Shoulder Shrug, which with Hans, which is the book that she stole. And it has a Jew protagonist, which is a hero. And the Jew is being portrayed in a positive way, so we can understand why the Nazis wanted to burn that particular book. She also, when she's been delivering the laundry to Ilsa Hermann, the mayor's wife, is being allowed to read the books in the library. She notices that some of the books belong to someone called Johann Hermann, and she ends up finding out that it was the mayor the mayor's son, and he passed away. And Ilsa, his mother, is still grieving him, which explains why she's been kind of this sad, morose person that Liesel's seen every once in a while. Liesel and Rudy also team up with some older kids to try to steal food and help feed people during this chapter. Let's see. And I'm going through this pretty quickly. The Jewish fist fighter that's always mentioned, that's Max. We learn a little bit about him having to defend himself frequently and being called a Jewish fist fighter. Okay, we're moving on here. So the Aryan Shopkeeper is another chapter that we skipped, but I will let you know basically that it's very short. And essentially, Rudy and Liesel find some money on the ground and use it to buy a piece of candy from Frau Diller's shop, and they just basically are savoring that candy. And the reason why this is so short but included is it just shows how much people are struggling for food and just simple things. So we can eat a piece of candy and not think anything of it, but it was like a huge deal that they found this money and they could take the time to actually enjoy this piece of candy. And then we move on to The Struggler Continued. And we find out that Max Vandenberg, who's this Jewish character that we're about to meet, is on a train, and he's carrying a copy of Mein Kampf. Are you making some connections here? This is the book that this guy gave him with the key in it and the identity card, and we just learned that Hans got a copy of Mein Kampf. I hope you're making a connection. The person who gave him the book was a person named Walter Kugler, and he'd gotten him a train ticket and gave him some personal items like shave and trim his hair. And Max is sitting on this train right now pretending to read Mein Kampf, but he really isn't reading it. All he's noticing is the title, which is My Struggle. So we know he's going through something hard. Here's another chapter we skipped. The Tricksters. Liesel and Rudy are stealing food. They end up almost getting caught at one point, and the leader of the group of older kids, Arthur Berg, saves them both, but he moves away shortly thereafter, so their stealing can't continue anymore. And then we get to The Struggler Concluded. So we see Max arriving in Mulching, and he walks through the dark streets wondering if he is allowing other people to sacrifice themselves and if he's being selfish by putting people in danger, and he arrives at the Huberman's house. So hopefully you're getting a sense that Max, Hans must have known him from somewhere. We'll learn how. And that book Mein Kampf basically is a way for him to kind of escape suspicion while he travels to the Huberman's house. As a Jew, he's in danger, obviously, of being taken by the Nazis, killed, imprisoned, all of those things. And so the forged papers and the book are a certain amount of protection for him. He must be trying to escape, and the Hubermans are going to somehow play a part in that. So I think that's where we left off. I went through that really fast, guys. I'm sorry. You might have to watch this video again. It's a lot of bouncing around, and Death is very, very good at bouncing us back, forth. So watch this video again. Essentially, the main points that you have to take out is that we have this new character entering the scene, Max Vandenberg, and he is a Jewish man in Germany who is in danger, and somehow Hans knows this and is trying to help him by helping him travel to the Huberman family. Also keep in mind that Hans asked Liesel if she would be willing to keep a secret for him after she sold that book. So that's going to come into play here. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know it's really hard and challenging to do this while we're not together, but it's a great book, and hopefully we're going to have the movie for you guys soon to watch. We're almost finished. We're almost there. So hang in there. Keep going. Don't stop. Do the best you can. Ask me about anything, any questions you have. I'll talk to you guys soon.